Hello friends. Hello. This is going to be mostly an ink swatching video with my good friends here, Q-tip, and this is a Jacques Herbin glass pen, and Maru Mnemosyne paper. I don't know exactly which one, however, I wanted to swatch all of the inks and see if this is a relaxing video. Don't mind if I've got ink on my fingers already. I've been doing a number of things, including some calligraphy practice, so it is what it is. Let's start off with some reds. Sailor Magno, Husky. And I'm going to do these two at a time because it's very, very difficult with a two-sided Q-tip, once one side gets wet, to lay it down on anything without it staining. So I'm just going to double dip. This other one is Diamine, Syrah, one of my favorite reds. So let's go. This is all winging it right now. All winging it. And if it's not in screen, it soon will be. Because again, I am winging it right now. So we should get some light and dark. We'll open Diamine Syrah and put it right next to it. There's a little crust on there, unfortunately. Okay. Off screen, I have 2 glasses of water. Ooh. This is kind of a thin ink. Our other good friend, Kleenex. And then we'll do Diamine Syrah. Fantastic. Make sure I get the lids on. I got 4 pieces of paper, just in case. Okay. A new edition. This is Kuretake Ebicha. And I really like this one. It's got great shading to it. $15 for 15 milliliters makes it, I guess, one of the more expensive inks. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Then we have Rouge Hematite from Jacques Herbin, the 1670 series, with some nice shine in it. Sorry, shimmer. A nice shimmer to it. The Rouge Hematite is going to be the difficult one because I'm going to have to balance shaking it with doing other stuff. Tell you what, let me try doing this one first, and then we can do. No. We'll do the swatches first. Swatches first. If I can get this lid off, my goodness. Let's get that. Then I'll move this out of the shower in the near future here. Okay. Reverse. Oh, look at that rich color. It's almost brown. I considered it for the purpose of this video a red. However, it does certainly look very brown on this piece of paper. Anyway, let's give our friend Rouge Hematite another shake. Hematite. I don't know how much the mics down here are picking up. Maybe that's why I like the Kuretake so much. It's a brown that leans very heavily red, or you could say it is a very dark red that leans orange. The Kuretake so far has been very well behaved for me. You could hear some scratching with the Jacques Herbin, because I think it's a thinner ink, but I didn't hear anything with the Kuretake Ebicha, or very little. Kind of interesting, especially as it's been winter and I haven't been able to use some of my inks at work that were working earlier in the summer and in the fall. As soon as the cold weather hit and the air dried up, I could not could not use some of the inks because whatever paper they were on, they were feathering like crazy. Our next two inks are Last Red, Diamine Oxblood, another very deep red that I adore, and we have the one Noodlers I will still use. This is Southwest Sunset or Apache Sunset, and it is the only orange in my bottled collection. I have a couple in test tubes, sample tubes, but orange is not really my flavor. It's more brown, which is dark orange, of course. This is one of the dry inks that I can use at work, is this Oxblood, and it actually feels dry on the page even with a soaked Q-tip. And we will dip the Noodlers. It's been a while. I don't really put this in pens. I mostly got it. You can see that brilliant orange color. I mostly got it for ink paintings, but I didn't ever finish working on art to the point where I could do ink paintings, just sit down an afternoon and just crank a couple out. I'm fairly new to art, and I started collecting fountain pens and inks around June of this year, so it's not been very. Oh, I need to write. Too busy talking. Yeah, actually, maybe you can see, yeah, see how full that is? I basically just swatched this ink and was like, yes, that's a good orangey yellow to have, and I put it back on the shelf. And have not really used it since. However, if I did feel like putting it in orange, I would go this one. The thing is, reds are kind of my color. Like, some people really like blues. I really like reds, and I feel like red, especially deep dark red, is like my personality. Of course, in the States we use red as a correction thing, so the teacher will mark on red what you missed. Yeah, I might try this Ebicha. On paper at work and see if it feathers or not, because it doesn't feel like it would feather. Like the oxblood is one of the standards I use for its oxblood works very well at work. And what was the other one? Aurora Borealis is also one of those semi-dry inks. Okay, we've got oxblood. Trying to keep everything kind of organized. So we've done red, we've done orange. I don't have any yellows, so we're going to do further oranges, I guess, which are brown. Underneath, we get a couple of these. One of my all-time favorites here. And a very interesting one here. So this one is Pilot Iroshizuku Seungyo. And it is a gorgeous red-brown. And we have Laidete. I think that's how you pronounce it. I am terrible at French. That's one language I need to work on the pronunciation for. That and several of the Asian languages. East Asian, I should say. I worked on Chinese for a bit, but they don't use very many linguistic marks in the English spellings, so it is difficult to get them correct if you are sabotaged from the very beginning. Yeah, and you can kind of see how when this ink pools, it starts to shift around as a unit because it's very well lubricated, and that means it feathers a lot in the winter for me. I started noticing with some of the blue colors of Iroshizuku that the feathering was just crazy at work. I'm like, why is this feathering all of a sudden? And it seems the culprit was the weather. No problem though. I will eventually return. That does look a lot like tea to me. A lot like tea. So let's get our Iroshizuku. Seungyo. It's about time for a new Mr. Kleenex, because this one is getting very, very wet. Very, very, very wet. I should show you guys the staging area. Let's give you just a brief glance in the middle here. Okay. This is the staging area for the inks. I've got the Kleenex, the other stuff. And then here's my repairs, and that book right there is my main ink swatch book. And then we've got a 2-tier with feathers for quills that I've been trying to cut. This is, ooh, maybe I should swatch some of that too. That's my calligraphy ink. And over here some paintbrushes, watercolor. Anyway, I need to Lightate. This Sailor Manual, by the way, the Azuki, I was thinking about selling it. Very strongly thinking about selling that because I just don't use it. It's fairly light. However, on this paper, on the Japanese paper, the Japanese ink looks better. On the French paper, I normally use Clairefontaine, either Rhodia or the actual brand Clairefontaine. It looks a bit lighter, and it's less legible. I do like the shading, it's just not really my color, right? But you live and learn, and it was cheap-ish to get a 50 milliliter bottle, so I bought the bottle thinking, oh man, that looks great. Online, of course, I was looking at, what's their name? I will remember their name anyway. Online retailer, and they use Tomoe River 52 GSM, which I don't generally. Not that it's a bad paper, I like the thicker stuff. But here we have Esterbrook Forgotten Iced Coffee, and this one has not been behaving for me. I opened it up and it was so liquidy, it didn't even cling to the glass pen, so I couldn't write with it. That was kind of nuts. And then one of my favorite pure browns is this Jacques Herbin Caroube de Chypre. Anyway, it's another of their 1670 series. Let me grab one of these, and we'll go this one first. I spilled a bunch of this ink, and I'm sad about it, but I can... Ooh, look how loose that is. Can you see the... when I lay it down, it like pools in different areas? Like it doesn't want to just cling to the paper, it wants to stand above it. Very French of this ink, to look down its nose at blending with paper. Perhaps that's presumptuous of me. Yeah, this Forgotten Iced Coffee, I kind of regret getting it, because when I think about iced coffee, I think much darker brown. However, Esterbrook knows us Americans. They know us very well. They made their Forgotten Iced Coffee as if it had been doused with milk, and very light, which is not the end of the world, mind you. Okay, are you behaving for me this time? Yes, it is. Yeah, it goes on almost green, and then it fades into this tan color. Very reminiscent of a cafe latte with lots and lots of milk added. Mind you, there's nothing wrong with a cafe latte with lots and lots of milk added. I prefer super sugary coffees, just as a matter of taste. Now, the bitter coffee, there's nothing necessarily wrong with it. However, super strong bitter flavors are not my favorite. It's good for waking one up, I suppose. Just like smelling salts are good for waking one up, but they're not good to actually smell. Yes, yes. That's the way. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Folks, I love me some browns and some reds.